Hiya, I'm Jasper, and welcome to your video review for Equals. It's a movie starring Nicholas Hoult and Kristen Stewart. So, as always, I'm going to be the good, the bad, and the furry. To start off the furry, there isn't any. Moving on to the good and the bad. So, this movie is sort of like a love story version of Equilibrium. If you remember Equilibrium, which you should, it's an excellent movie. That movie, they just got rid of all human emotions. With this one, it's sort of a riff on that, where they've gotten rid of essentially gotten rid of human emotions, just in a slightly different way. And then, but some characters, much like how Prosium kind of wears off with some people, the thing that makes you not feel is wearing off with some other people. And it's the love story between these two, if you will. I really enjoyed it. I loved the aesthetic. I thought that they absolutely did a fantastic job of establishing this world, how it can function, and just making it so that you are just dived into this world, and it just feels so real with the outfits that everybody has, the stylization of the hair and the technology, and it seems so believable that this is a possible way of a future that could happen based on the things that they showed. So I thought they did a really, really good job there, and I thought that it was definitely well worth it. What I didn't like about it, wasn't a big fan of the ending. So it's not a bad ending. I think it's a logical ending for how the story goes, but it's not an ending that I enjoyed so much. So you've been warned with that. But the acting is excellent because these two are just beautiful, beautiful actors that are always a win, and seeing how they are together and just the smallest of things with them is really what this movie needs, and that's what it got. And they definitely chose the correct actors for this, and it was really great to see. The music section was not overly involved, but good camera angles and just the cinematography and just everything. This is just shot so beautifully, and the pacing I think is absolutely spot on. It's not an action movie. If you go in there like, oh, it's Equilibrium, but with love, Equilibrium is an action movie. This is not an action movie, but for the temperament and for the feelings that they're trying to portray, I think that they had the absolute spot on pacing for this. So excellent job all around. Now, two thumbs up. Now I'm gonna get into spoiler territory. So spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. I'm gonna tell you why I didn't like the ending. Okay, spoiler alert. Here's the ending. What I didn't like about it is that this is essentially like a weird modern day love story, modern day version of Romeo and Juliet, because he thinks she's dead, and then he decides to kill himself, and then it turns out she's not actually dead, and then you have to live with it. So he didn't actually die because he just takes the shot, but it's just it's so frustrating that this could have gone well. All those three people sacrificed their ability to feel, but they got forced injected by that thing in order to save her, to keep them, to make it so that those two could be together. And then he just bitches out way too quickly to just not feel. And I get it. I know why they did it. And that's why I said it makes logical sense for the movie, is that, he just can't stand this feeling of loss. He doesn't want to feel anything anymore because she is gone. So he makes this rash decision because he thinks she's dead. But if they had just timed things slightly better, if she had just stayed in the apartment, if he had just stayed in the apartment, if they had left a note or something, moved something in there to be I was here, something, you might have been able to be oh, maybe somebody was here, maybe she's still alive, maybe I won't do the thing, or if she had found him, just so many different options. And then now they have to deal with what's he going to be like when he can't feel. And just think about how hard that would be for her to live for the next however many decades before some revolution happens, and then some technology comes to be able to undo that bit, or maybe humans once to get, or maybe in this current generation, maybe that thing doesn't stick around. Maybe they didn't do enough long-term testing of an experimental drug that they're forcing on millions of people. Maybe they, don't have a long-term change to their emotions, and so maybe it'll come back. But if it doesn't, if none of that happens, think about having to spend the next 20 years with somebody who you knew for a few weeks, a couple of months maybe, I don't know, that you just have the most passionate love for, and now they feel nothing for you, and you have to just deal with that day after day after day after day after day. And that's if they survive. Like, they go down to the wilderness or the peninsula or whatever, and sure, it looks wildernessy. Maybe there's some people there that are just hiding from the fucking feelingless overlords, but still, if there's nobody hiding out there, like, that's gonna be a rough few months as they figure out how, hunt and gather when she's got, like, when either she's getting pregnant, well, when she's, when the pregnancy is continuing, and then when she has the kid, that's assuming she doesn't, like, bleed out or some other horrible thing. So they definitely ended it in the right spot where, like, do they make it out? And, they ended it before you had to, like, really start to consider all the reality of what they just did and what they're doing. So, yeah, didn't like the ending, but it was a good ending for what the filmmakers intended. I like happy endings to my love story, damn it, okay? So, that's all I have for this one. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you at the next one. Bye.